Hello everyone, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Millions of dollars and scores of jobs coming to Maine. Why a Norwegian company is landing in Belfast.
Speaking of landing, our Super Bowl team is on the ground in Minneapolis 5 days before the big game. We'll have a live report and a couple of mayors making a bet on the game, Portland, Maine and Portland, Pennsylvania.
And snow, lots of it in some parts of the state.
Keith will tell us what happened. This is News Center Now. A big boost in Belfast. A Norwegian company says it will bring jobs and a large cash infusion. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Nordic Aqua Farms announced today it plans to build one of the world's largest salmon farms in the Waldo County community.
News Center's Tennyson Coleman shows us why this Scandinavian company decided to invest so much money in Belfast.
Nordic Aqua Farms is expected to build the salmon farm facility here on the outskirts of the city of Belfast, right off of Northport Avenue.
We want to build a world-class team here and make this one of the most attractive places in the world to work with this.
It's a major boost for the local economy.
The city is creating a partnership that's going to last for decades.
A $150 million investment that will produce nearly 66 million pounds of salmon annually. And it's expected to initially create 60 new high-skilled jobs. Governor LePage is praising the effort.
Maine is known for its fishing, forestry, and farming, and this fits right in.
CEO Eric Heim says the farming process will be sustainable.
We also recycle all waste resources and turn them into positive value products. We use no chemicals or medications in our production.
Heim says Maine was the best possible location for this project.
So a lot of the benefits here are closeness to a very nice town with services, cold seawater resources, freshwater resources, all the components that need to come together.
This is something that I only could have imagined happening here in Belfast.
Nordic Aqua Farms CEO Eric Heim says construction for the facility will begin in 2019 and business operations will begin in 2020. Reporting in Belfast, Tennyson Coleman, News Center, Maine.
All right, lots of you had questions today about the salmon farm and pollution. A number of viewers posted to our Facebook page saying that they're worried about destroying the water source and the risk of contaminating the supply.
The company did address this in their announcement, saying this is a land-based project, meaning the fish will be farmed in enclosed areas, adding there will be low water discharge and waste will be recycled. They're also promising a series of public meetings so community members can share concerns or ask questions. The announcement says the first one will happen sometime in February.
All right, so for most of the state today, the only thing you had to worry about weather-wise was some chilly temperatures.
That's right. Speaking of the mid-coast, it was snowy and down east may have gotten a little more than they bargained for. This is a time-lapse video of the snowfall in Harrington.
All right, Keith.
A little bit more.
All right, Keith. Well, we're trying to be nice, so...
we got smoke like that salmon that you're just talking about there today. It happens. Down east got definitely way more than forecast. We had them in 1 to 3. I think everybody had them in 1 to 3. We're getting reports of 10 and 11 inches of snow over Washington and Hancock County, and you can see the snow still ongoing there. Meanwhile, basically not a flake in Portland and western Maine and into parts of the southern mid-coast. So it was just a totally two-sided storm. And you can see a couple more bands still towards Machias, moving towards Eastport and Lubec. And the hardest hit areas were around Ellsworth and into Bar Harbor. Again, 10 and 11 inches of snow being reported, getting pictures from there as well. Basically, simply put, what happened is the snow shield was a little bit more north-south oriented as opposed to northeast to southwest. So instead of riding along the coastline, it just trained over down East Maine and left southern Maine out of it. It'll be done in the next few hours. After that, temperatures crash into the single digits and teens. We have several more chances, though, for snowfall forecasts here in the next couple of days. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Keith, some news now for you. In his first official State of the Union address, President Trump is expected to discuss the economy, job growth and immigration reform. The border wall and Dreamers will be hot topics tonight as Congress has just over 1 week to reach compromise on immigration and pass a budget. So far, 6 Democrats say they will not attend tonight's State of the Union address.
Former Glee star Mark Salling was found dead this morning. Salling, who played Puck on the award-winning series, was awaiting sentencing for multiple convictions of child pornography. The cause of death is under investigation. His co-star Corey Monteith died of an overdose in 2013.
So a lot of interest in this one. An investigation found that the Hawaii missile alert was not an accidental push. The emergency management worker actually thought the islands were under attack. There was a miscommunication about an unscheduled drill while the night shift was about to clock out and the day shift was just coming into work. The recorded message for the drill did say exercise, exercise, but it also said this is not a drill. The investigative report blamed a combination of human error and inadequate safeguards for the 38 minutes of total panic when Hawaiians braced for an incoming ballistic missile.
News Center Maine's March to Minnesota team has landed. Chris Costa will join us live and tell us how Brady and Belichick are preparing to win their 6th Super Bowl rings.
It's a chance to have something that I didn't have when I was younger.
They say music soothes the soul, and in this case, it is supporting some local teen moms, juggling school, work, and parenting. The Lullaby Project coming up. All right, the Patriots have begun their week of work as they get ready for the Super Bowl on Sunday against the Eagles out in Minnesota.
And for the days leading up to the big game, the teams, the athletes, they're staying focused, a razor-sharp focus on the job they have to do. And our team, they're out there too, staying focused on delivering us the latest happenings from Minnesota. Guys, what's the latest?
Hey, Lee and Lindsay, we're here live at the Mall of America. No shopping for us, though. We have a lot of work to do. The Mall of America is one of the hubs of activity during the Super Bowl here in Minnesota, not just for the fans, but for the media as well. What you can see behind us is called Radio Row. It's the location at every Super Bowl where all of the radio stations set up, and they interview a lot of former players from the two teams and a lot of special guests as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like the pulse, the heart of it. You can really feel it here. Not just where the media sets up, but also where the players do their press conferences. So the Patriots had a press conference earlier today at 11 o'clock. Tom Brady spoke. My hero. Did not drop the mic, just spoke into the mic, did not drop it. But he talked a lot about work-life balance, which is interesting, something that you see a lot in his documentary series now, which episode 3 just dropped today.
Time versus time, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And also on the mic, Bill Belichick.
Yes, Bill Belichick spoke to the assembled media, and it was astonishing because Belichick is fired up, ranting, raving, waving his arms. He really wants to win this football game.
Coach, do you love winning or hate losing more?
No, we always play to win.
Bill, how much longer would you like to keep coaching?
Okay, right now my focus is on Sunday against the Eagles, and that's my window right now.
It has been 18 years that you're a Patriots head coach. It's in your mind the retirement, or are you thinking in the future?
I'm not thinking about anything except doing my best on Sunday against the Eagles. That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, everything's relative. Everything's relative. He is fired up. He really wants to win.
You can really tell.
Well, obviously, we want you guys to be involved in all of this experience as well. So here's what we're asking you to do. Tomorrow, the Patriots are going to have another press availability, and we'd like you guys to send us questions that you want us to ask to the team. So you can go to our Facebook page, News Center Maine, and find the post, and make sure you leave a comment there with your question for the players.
Yep. Lee and Lindsay, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, sounds good. I mean, they found a good spot. Not going to lie, the Mall of America.
In Minnesota, in a mall. That's pretty good.
Exactly.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, no complaining there. Okay, 5 days until the Super Bowl, if you're counting. And I want to make sure I get this right. Bangor, Maine has made a bet with Bangor, Pennsylvania, and now Portland is following suit.
Hi, is this the mayor of Portland, Pennsylvania?
It certainly is. Is this the mayor of Portland, Maine?
It is. It is. It is.
Portland, Maine was founded first and is 116 times the size of Portland, Pennsylvania. Mayor Ethan Strimling bet Mayor Lance Prater that the Patriots will beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. If the Pats don't win, Stringling will send Portland-made beer, gin, and live lobsters to Portland, Pennsylvania. That bet didn't feel like enough, though, so the mayors raised the stakes.
Is that saying that I'm going to have to shave my head if the Patriots lose?
Well, that's totally up to you. I did your profile picture, and you do have some gorgeous locks.
Yeah, are you like already balding or something, or is this like not a big deal?
Well, I have a lot less hair than you, but it's still there.
All right, buddy, if the Eagles win, I'm going with the shaved head.
Oh, I don't even know who to root for right now. Plot twist in this one. Neither mayor actually likes their respective teams. They're both Giants fans, but they said they will root for their constituents over the weekend. So,
very good.
So there is that. All right, another news. Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett say that they're going to team up to try to fix the healthcare system. But the world's richest businessmen are being very protective of any further details. What do we know so far about the healthcare venture coming up next?
And most of us escaped with just a flurry today, but more snow could be on the way. Keith maps it out next in the full forecast.
All right, if you're a parent, you already know this. It is very hard work to raise a child. It absolutely takes a village.
But what if that village consisted of composers or musicians? That's the story of the Lullaby Project, a program that aims to help struggling new mothers bond with their child.
Definitely difficult, but it's doable.
New mom Rebecca Pfeiffer is caring for her month-old daughter Phoebe and working towards earning a high school diploma.
We've been working on a lullaby for the baby.
And now the day has come to listen to it for the first time. She's joined by another mom and baby and team of musicians. One small look inside the Lullaby Project, happening nationwide. It started at Carnegie Hall in New York City and grew, helping moms in jails, hospitals, and homeless shelters bond with their children. For the last 5 years, Bay Chamber Concerts in Rockport has hosted the Lullaby Project for teen moms from across the state.
You learn someone else's perspective. You learn what a young mother's experiencing, and you get to hear her exact words and shape those words into a song, lyrics, and melody.
Being able to collaborate in the creative process is really fun.
The artists who lend their talents are called musical mentors.
It would have been really wonderful to have a program like this when I was young and pregnant and nervous and not really sure what was going to happen.
While Rebecca has only known her daughter a matter of weeks, her little personality shines through when she's off to sleep.
When she yawns, she always makes this noise after she yawns, and she like moves her arms when she does it. It's the cutest thing in the world.
And the moms are students of the Camden-based Wayfinder Schools. It's an alternative high school program for young parents statewide. The students learn from home, and then the teachers go and visit them.
Keith needs a teacher today. He needs like an emotional teacher. I've never seen you so docile.
This is tough.
This is sad.
No,
the
you know
whole
what,
office
honestly,
is very sullen.
I'm just glad it's not a big storm. That's all I can say about it. But there is some comfort in numbers, like the fact that I never would have forecast this. Nobody did. But look at these snowfall totals. This tells the whole story right here. 11, 11, 10 and a half, nothing. And even Booth Bay, someone just said to me that Booth Bay got 3 inches. So I mean, it's quite a contrast going on out there. But down East Maine, you do not care. You just know that you're getting 3 times as much snowfall as forecast. Here's a look at the radar estimate of the accumulated precipitation. You can see that band that went in right through Bar Harbor, and that's what nailed them with some snow. Meanwhile, nothing, no precipitation at all over parts of York and Cumberland County. Still snowing up here, and some nice bands into Lebec, so they definitely could see another inch or 2 of accumulation before this is done, putting a few spots over a foot of accumulation. That moves out later on tonight. After that, temperatures drop like a rock into the single digits in a lot of spots, teens along the coastline. Bright start to the day tomorrow, but by tomorrow afternoon, some clouds roll in, and then some snow showers again tomorrow night in through Thursday morning. developing into light snow along the coastline on Thursday morning. Another couple of inches is possible. And that's kind of a theme going forward through the week here. We have several quick moving little shots of snow that for the most part will be smaller than today, but there will be one coming through Wednesday night and into Thursday, then another one on Thursday morning, a break on Saturday with some nice weather, and then another light system coming in on Sunday that could be another 2 or 3 inches of snow. So it's not a ton, but cumulatively it may add up to a little bit here, particularly along the coastline. After that, we still look at next week in the favorable jet stream pattern. Jet stream right to the south of us. Storms like to ride along that. We have just enough cold air to give them some energy. When you compare and contrast that to what we had late December, early January, when we had this big, deep trough, that kept all the storms to the south, and all we got out of that was the cold. So next week's pattern is more favorable for snowstorms, not as favorable for this big cold, which I think most people are happy about. All right, here's the 7-day, the beloved 7-day forecast showing nice sunshine on Saturday. Super Bowl Sunday looks like some light snow, guys. A couple inches there, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then we're watching another storm possibility on Monday. So again, very active weather pattern. At this point, I don't see any blockbusters in there, but the pattern next week, I could buy it happening next week because of the way the pattern is set up. So we'll watch that.
All right, so just for clarification, on the graphic you had nada. Is that the official meteorological term?
Yes.
That is official.
There was no room to say not even a flake.
Okay.
Okay, one more follow-up question.
Yes.
Full on Barney. Is that because
full
Barney
Barney
is the purple dinosaur and
Yes.
we're seeing all purple?
Yes.
Okay.
I started using it last year, but you catch on quickly because you
Yeah.
weren't here for that.
Brain drops
full
a little
Barney.
bit early on the show. Early brain drops. All right, thank you very much, sir. Speaking of cold weather, the Winter Olympics begin in just 10 days, and people are getting fired up across their respective countries to show their national pride.
One of the biggest rivalries in the Winter Games is the women's hockey battle between the United States and Canada. The Canadians have won the last 4 gold medals, including an overtime win against the U.S. back in 2014. Former Portland Pirates head coach Kevin Dineen was the coach of Team Canada that year. Dino was also in the Olympics as a player more than 30 years ago. He has very fond memories of taking home the gold for his country 4 years ago.
In 2014, actually in 2010 and 6 as well, the U.S. dominated that series before the Olympics, and we had a really dry spell as Canada going against the United States. And the next thing you know, once we got to Sochi, we had obviously success in the finals, but we actually beat them in the preliminary rounds as well. I look back at the 2014 Olympic gold game for the women's hockey to be, one of the better hockey games played, and I've heard that numerous times. So again, nice to be a small part of it and to look forward to watching this time around.
And don't forget, you can see all the Olympic coverage on all of the different platforms of NBC. And every night at 7:30, you can catch Bill Green and I with the Olympic Zone. It all starts 1 week from Thursday right here on News Center Maine. I can't wait.
I have a USA chant happening in my head right now. USA.
Keep going.
USA.
If you want something done right, you do it yourself.
That kind of sums up the new healthcare venture spearheaded by Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, world-renowned investor Warren Buffett, and the bankers at JP Morgan Chase.
NBC's Erica Edwards tells us more.
It may not come in a familiar brown box, but Amazon and 2 financial powerhouses are promising a new way of delivering healthcare. Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, and JP Morgan Chase are pooling resources to create an independent healthcare company.
We need employers to step up and change healthcare. And rather than sitting around waiting for the politicians to do it, they're not going to get it done.
CEOs Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Jamie Dimon released a joint statement saying the company would be free from profit-making incentives, but offered no details on how the new venture will operate.
I'm a little surprised they went ahead and made an announcement without saying more about what they're going to do. But never underestimate the power of people like Jeff and Jamie and Warren.
Cutting costs is high priority. Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett called soaring healthcare costs a hungry tapeworm on the American economy.
20% of the hospitals in the United States are running in the red. We're working very hard to take costs out, and we've taken an enormous amount of costs out, but we need a more efficient system supporting us.
The company's combined workforces will be the new venture's first customers, aiming to improve patient satisfaction and outcomes. Erica Edwards, NBC News.
Now, the announcement also promises a focus on cutting-edge technology with the newest research powering treatment. That's a pretty tall order.
Well, speaking of tall order, tall glass of drink, you need a straw, right? Sure. Not for the mug. Okay. Well, something as tiny and insignificant as a plastic straw can help destroy an entire ecosystem. That's why the hashtag #SipDon'tSuck is trending on social media.
Tourism businesses operating in the Greater Barrier Reef have signed up to ban the use of plastic straws. Advocates say when a straw falls off a dinner cruise boat, a marine animal might eat it, or it could land on the barrier reef, killing the coral. Australians use about 10 million straws each day, but science shows that most plastic straws will eventually outlive people. It takes about 200 years for a straw to actually break down.
My dog would eat it if it fell. My dog eats everything.
Yeah, well, as do all of mine, except for what they're supposed to.
Exactly.
All right, enough dog talk. Let's bring in Cindy to us what's coming up at 5:30. Hey, Cindy.
Hey guys, immigration is the topic on Capitol Hill, and you can bet that a lot of immigrants and dreamers are going to be watching the President's State of the Union speech very closely tonight. They're hoping that it may signal a shift in policy in Washington. We're going to have more on that. And Lindsey Vonn just keeps coming back. Why the Olympian won't let serious injuries keep her off the slopes. It's all coming up at 5:30. Back to you.
Lindsey Vonn, my girl, can't wait. Cindy, thanks so much. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
Today's Braindrops, interesting study they did in China. They had a rare opportunity, this town in China, basic city in China. Basically, its main source of pollution was this one coal plant. They didn't have that many cars. They didn't have that many other sources of pollution. So they shut this plant down in the mid-2000s, and they studied umbilical cord blood from babies before and after. And what they found was a crucial part of a chromosome, if we can go to this next graphic here, was shorter when the coal plant was still around. So basically these telomeres are coating on the ends of your chromosomes that protect them. They get shorter as you get older. The babies, when the coal plant was still there, had shorter telomeres, which meant that they were going to age faster. They had a better chance of having lung problems and heart problems. They went back, they had given enough time to have these new babies born, and now they find that these are back to normal. So it's something we didn't realize was a problem with pollution, and brings me full scale to one of my favorite arguments when we talk about climate change and global warming. Who likes pollution? What is the argument for pollution, right? Like, who says we should have more soot and whatnot in the air?
This whole time I'm thinking, how long are my telometers?
Yeah, well, they should be in the middle at this point. In the middle. His? He's almost out of his.
Very small. All right, News Center at 5:30 starts right now.